Okay, so originally there was going to be a different introduction for this video. What I had thought in my introduction was that I was saying I didn't know the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, and I thought I was just kind of joking. I thought I actually kind of did know what sound editing and sound mixing was. So when I made this video originally, I told you guys the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. And it turns out I was completely wrong. So now I'm back here after getting to the editing room and finishing the whole video. And I have a different introduction for you because I had to look it up. I found something on Reddit. This guy named Steel Wool. I'm giving you credit for this. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you for telling me the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. And now, because I don't have much time, I'm just going to read what this guy said on Reddit, which is absolutely true. It's 100% fact because it's on Reddit. So this is the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, and I really like the way that he comes up with the explanation. In layman's terms, sound editing is about collecting the sounds needed for a film. Sound mixing refers to what is done after they are collected. The sound editing category used to be known as sound effect editing, which is actually the more apt name. When scenes are shot, typically the focus is almost entirely on getting the dialogue and staging down pat. It is left to the sound editors to put in other noise to complement the spoken words. This could be ambient sound like an air conditioner or the approach of a distant train. Sound mixing then refers to the post-production after sounds are already inserted. The most essential goal is to meld the sound seamlessly with the recorded dialogue. It could mean making the train actually seem distant or adding reverb to a bird's squawk to create tension in a scene. It also includes matching the audio levels of dialogue recorded at different times. So there you have it. Sound editing refers to obtaining the necessary sounds. Sound mixing is about layering them in the final product. Now, with that being said, here are the nominees by a guy who didn't know the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. A Different Man. I think because the lead character is always in such an anxious and fearful state, his senses are heightened and thus he's paying attention to every sound around him. The film takes great advantage of this, using a wonderful array of sounds to paint a picture of his situation and hammer home how the character is feeling. Each drop of water in his apartment, each squeak of a door, these moments are heightened to an almost surrealist degree. It's a major factor in the film's success, especially in the opening act of the film. All we imagine as light. A lot of this movie relies on the character's relationship to the city lifestyle, which is handled brilliantly with the sound here. I've often said the setting of a place can be a character. Well, how do you create a character? The sound of a movie gives the place its personality. It inhabited the world they were in, making it so noise or lack of noise was a major tonal factor and shifted how a conversation was going to go. Challengers. This is maybe a smooth brain nomination, but I like it when the tennis ball goes pop. They did some serious justice to the actual game of tennis, and while Luca had previously stated that it wasn't his priority, clearly the sound mixing was. It services the adrenaline-seeking nature of the story quite well. Dune, Part 2. Sci-fi is always a goldmine for sound design, isn't it? Especially sound mixing. The clashing of space swords, the rupturing of force fields, they all make such satisfying sounds. But again, like all we imagine as light, sound is an incredible environmental tool. The desert, the sand, these parts of the film were thought through meticulously, and the final sound was a massive part of that process. Evil does not exist. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, so I'm not gonna. The forest is an environment, so you know how I feel about movies that treat it with great care. The important thing about this one is the sheer amount of time that's dedicated to listening to the forest, and the sheer amount of highlighting the sound design receives. I think in this film more than any other film this year, the sound is tantamount to the story. Its entire plot is encapsulated by a love of the forest, and this film spends a significant amount of its runtime reminding you of its beauty. The sounds are meditative and beautiful. They are why people live among the trees. Flow. As is the case with the music, because this film relies so heavily on non-verbal storytelling, technical aspects like the sound design end up floating up to the surface. I feel like animals are naturally more attuned to sounds than we are as humans, so it's only natural in this film that the animals are more reactionary to these sounds, and interact more with these sounds. It's not the sounds themselves that are particularly well mixed, but the way they're edited in the film is what makes them special. Nosferatu. This film has a lot of sounds. A lot of sounds. It's rich with interesting moments of squeaks and grunts, and it ties them all together well, especially in Count Orlok's mansion. I already said this in my review of the movie, but there's so much going on from a sound perspective, it's like Eggers treats it the same way he would dialogue. The mixing is incredible, and it's absolutely vital for creating the gothic surrealist landscape that Eggers was trying to build. It's an excellent feature. Sound has some seriously underrated magical effects. When I think about the art form, I think about the movie that came out a couple years ago called Come On, Come On with Joaquin Phoenix, in which he basically just takes a microphone and records the sound wherever he goes. I always thought that'd be a great way to walk through life. Sound can be so meditative and engaging whenever you isolate it. Unfortunately, I don't have a shotgun mic like Joaquin Phoenix did in that movie. I just have a stupid lav mic that I hold to my chin like an asshole. But these nominated films aren't assholes, because they have good sound. The least asshole out of these non-assholes is... Evil Does Not Exist. It was a tough one, I have to admit, between this one and Nosferatu. And it really just comes down to personal preference from what you're looking for in the medium. Evil Does Not Exist was more passive, and I think while Nosferatu displayed more technical ability, I appreciated the way that Evil Does Not Exist placed it in the film more. They're both excellent examples of sound though, and I'll be giving my silver turtle to the gothic horror pre-classic. But that's gonna do it for me. I really hope you appreciate this sound video. I love doing these technical ones because I think everything about actresses and actors and writing and directing, so much has already been said that it's very difficult to give your own spin on something. But when it comes to the technicals, not enough people talk about them, really. So I enjoy just really digging into it. Just personally, it helps me process the way I think about films better. And just to think about these kind of things. So I hope you appreciate that as well. In small moments where I've seen people talk about these on YouTube, they're the videos that have most excited me because they're the technical aspects of film that I know the least about, probably. So it's been really great to talk about these things. But as far as random shit goes, I've been thinking a lot about buying pants lately. But if you guys don't understand this, I envy you, but pants cost a lot of money. Pants are a serious investment. An investment that I don't know if I can afford most of the time. Like, you want to get a new pair of pants, that could run you like $40, $50 sometimes. You can go to a thrift store, and that's what I do. But if you look at a new pair of pants, or like jeans or something, that's like $40 or $50. And that's probably good. That's like a good price. Like, it can be a lot more than that, you know? And I'm like, wow, how am I going to spend that much money on this? It's really what's stopping me from trying to look good, from being fashionable, is that, oh my God, I cannot afford that money. But you know what? Then I turn around and I spend $10 like every other day eating some bullshit fast food. So who's the real loser here? It's me. I'm the real loser here. But subscribe and like to this channel if you're a loser like me, or if you're not. If you're a pants kind of person, please subscribe as well. I could really use some pants kind of people in this channel. So, that being said, put on your pants, put on 2 pairs of pants, maybe even 3. You could put on overalls and then shorts under the overall. I know this is going a little longer now, but I don't understand overall. Like, you gotta put pants under the overalls, right? Because, okay, I'm a little autistic, okay? I don't like the feeling of clothes on my body. So overalls seem like terrifying to me. So you gotta put something like between the overalls and you, right? Like more than underwear, I feel like. You need like I don't know, something. But yeah, I be wary of overalls, and I'll see you guys later.